Crossy Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you're not to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and today what we're going to be doing is, since we don't have the actual schedule yet, however, the list of 2019 opponents for the Green Bay Packers has been released, and it's a little bit of a doozy, as we are facing the AFC West and the NFC East, and it's, there might be some ouchies on our way. But that being said, we're going to go through our home games and we'll go through our away games. And then, based on the team we have right now, predict what our team's record is going to be. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of changes during the offseason. And so this prediction is most likely going to change, especially when the schedule actually gets released. But hey, why not? It's offseason football for the Green Bay Packers. So our home games, obviously we have the three divisional games. We have the Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings. Now, there's a part of me that, considering how good the Vikings were last year and how everyone thought like they were going to be the new dominant force and they were going to rule the NFC North for years to come, and then they missed the playoffs, I hope the same thing happens with the Bears. I'm just not as optimistic. So that being said, God, I would say we would beat the Lions, but we've lost to them 4 years in a row. 4 years. I would say we would beat the Lions, but we've lost 4 consecutive games to them. And that's a very sad stat. I would think if we're most likely going to split with with each of these teams, I could see the Bears potentially sweeping us, but I think a split would be the easiest thing to call. So I'm just going to say that's 3 wins and 3 losses right there. Then for our home games against non-divisional opponents, we have the Carolina Panthers, who have Christian McCaffrey, but have kind of been a hot mess, obviously completely broke down on their way to the playoffs. And so I think that could be a win. Christian McCaffrey is the best person on that offense. Obviously Luke Kuechly's still really good, but when it comes to, hopefully having a healthy defense and adding some components, I think we should be able to beat them. The Broncos, I think it's super duper important that we are not playing them away, because it's always a difficult stadium to play them at. So I think we should win the Broncos game. Raiders, if Jordy Nelson's still playing, he's coming home. And that's going to be sad. But we'll beat them. The Eagles, this is going to be interesting. Who's going to be their quarterback, Carson Wentz or Nick Foles? But I could see the Packers losing to the Eagles because they've looked pretty darn good. Although a bit inconsistent, I think we might lose that game. And then the Redskins, at least we don't have to play on their crappy field. I think we could beat the Redskins, even though we got our asses kicked this year. Then, moving on, our away games are a little bit more challenging. We have the Dallas Cowboys, which is basically a home game for us, since won a Super Bowl there, and we just keep on owning the Cowboys. So I'm going to say we're going to own the Cowboys a little bit more. The Chiefs, that's going to be a brutal game. I would say that we're most likely going to lose that game. The Chargers will feel like a home game, considering that nobody shows up to their games, but with their high-powered offense, it's going to be difficult to stop. I'd say conservatively we're going to lose that game. We should beat the Giants, which I'll most likely be at, and we should beat the 49ers. So if we're taking a look at this, just kind of going as conservatively as possible, I think we would win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10? That's not bad. 10 and 6. I would take 10 and 6. God, that's disappointing. But again, I got to be completely honest. If the team that shows up is the one that played the Lions on Sunday, we are not going to have a winning season. And I think that this is going to be something that is not going to be easy to deal with. But I know we all want a really fast turnaround and hope that this is just a fluke and a 1 year kind of downturn. I'm not going to count last year, since we didn't have Aaron Rodgers. This is the time, I think it's only the second time in his career that he's actually played the full season, and we haven't made the playoffs, the first one being his first year as a starter. But the Green Bay Packers have a lot of problems, and we're getting a new head coach. I'm assuming Mike McCarthy's crew is going to be cleared out. I hope we keep Mike Pettin, but you're going to lose some guys, whether it's Cobb, whether it's Clay, maybe even Jimmy Graham. There's going to be a lot of changes with the Green Bay Packers. And so I'm going to say this, while I hope we make it to 10-6, there's potential that we don't make the playoffs next year. And that's not me trying to be a Debbie Downer. That's just me trying to be as realistic as humanly possible. Because if we're taking a look at what we have going on, it's rough. Because we used to be the team that could just completely rely on Aaron Rodgers. As long as we have Aaron Rodgers on the field, we have a chance to win. And I still think that that's true. But we need to put a team around this guy. I've been saying that all year. We need to put a team around this guy. And I hope the drastic changes that take place during the offseason start getting in that direction of building that team. Not even to help Aaron Rodgers while he's here, but also to look for the long-term future of the Green Bay Packers. And even when Aaron Rodgers is not here, having a competitive team. Because that team on Sunday and that team last year was not a competitive team. And I just hope that we get there. That's all I can hope. But it's going to be tough to turn the ship around in 1 year. Do I think it could happen? Yeah, I think it could happen. But it's going to be difficult. But I do know one thing. We have our toasters, and I'll be there the whole time. Maybe weeping loudly. But I'll be there with you. Let me know what you think down below. See if you got some record predictions for me. You could always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossI Comedy, or at Tom Grossi Comedy on all the social media and Patreon. Check out Podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course here on YouTube multiple times a week. We'll be streaming this Saturday and Sunday, so come on down and check those out. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.